Good morning or good afternoon, I guess, everyone, and happy Halloween. I have Joanna with Americo on the line with us. Joanna, say hello.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me this time.
Um, all right, so we had a little bit of a problem with this on Monday about sound, but it sounds like everybody can hear Joanna. I just can't, so I'm going to do my opening for the webinar, and then I will switch the presenter over to Joanna. So welcome on this Thursday and happy Halloween. I'm Beth Ricklefs. I am your life insurance sales director here at IAMS. I'm so excited to have Joanna with us today at Americo. They have some really exciting things going on that I don't even know about with Americo, some upgrades to their final expense. So you're hearing it with me at the same time. I know it's getting ready to launch real soon. If you are a new producer with IAMS newly contracted, we do have a new producer builder bonus. And the first 6 months of your contract, if you hit certain production levels, we have different prizes in cash that you can earn for every 100,000 up to $1 million in annuity production. There's different levels to hit where you can get, again, cash, iPads, Visa gift cards, all kinds of things. How that equates to life insurance and all the products with Americo is going to be your target premium. So 10,000 of paid target premium gets you to the first level. 100,000 of target premium gets you to the best level there. So definitely be planning out your first 6 months how you get to those levels. Our business is a lot like yours, and the best agents that we work with are ones that you've actually referred to us. So if you have colleagues, people that you respect in the business, and recommend them to IAMS, that is going to give you a one-time $50 bonus for their first contract, and then thousands of dollars when they continue to write business with us. That is not a haircut off their commission or your commission. That is out of IAMS' pocket as a thank you for referring business to us. We are still going to offer them this top street level commissions. We also offer marketing reimbursement. IAMS is 100% on board to be a partner with you in the business. And one of those ways that we give back is with marketing reimbursement. For every 100,000 of FIA, that will earn you $100 of marketing reimbursement. And we sweeten the deal when it comes to life insurance. So single premium life, every 100,000 is 200 of marketing reimbursement, and every 10,000 of target is $200 of marketing reimbursement. Again, with Americo, there's lots of opportunities to be hitting those levels and earning your marketing reimbursement. We have the full picture here at IAMS. I know a lot of IMOs state that, but we really do, from the start of designing a case for you as far as getting quotes, working out all the details of the client that you're working with, presenting the right products, talking about pre-underwriting, pre-screen, how do you present that product, to getting that policy submitted. Our case management team on the life and the annuity side are absolutely wonderful. They're going to handhold those cases to get them through the underwriting process, issued, and placed, and then obviously commissioned to you. And then even on the back end, help you follow up on any service work like change of beneficiaries, change of name, loans, withdrawals, RMDs, anything that you can think of. Our IAMS website is going to offer a lot of full support there too, not to mention speaking with the best life and annuity directors out there in the industry to give you the full picture of case management, case design, to make sure that you're the most competitive when you're presenting to a client. Our IAMS website is IAMS-inc.com. If you have not registered there before, please do that right away. It will tell you that it does not give you access for 24 hours. That's usually not true. You'll probably have a confirmation email that ends up in your junk or spam, and then you're going to have access to excellent sales tools. My favorite part on the website is the sales resource library, which is going to have lots of advanced sales ideas, presentations, fact finders, calculators. You can spend so much time in the sales resource library and never come to the end of it. Our term and GUL quoters on the website, as well as our final expense, online forms, industry links. You name it, we got it on there. A lot of underwriting information too. So that's your 24-hour access to us. As the way of the world, most carriers are going to the e-application of some form, a platform to do electronic applications. Americo actually is the leader in the industry to actually getting those platforms out there. Many people have copied them based on the research and design that they did. But Luma is going to be our annuity platform. It's actually kind of backed by Firelight, but you're going to be able to do quotes. You're going to be able to track your business from quoting to submitting it by the e-application process, follow it through the process of getting it approved, and then on the back end, be able to follow statements and so forth. Firelight we have still, because there's a few companies on the life side that operate through Firelight. Again, Luma and Firelight kind of work in conjunction on the annuity side, but we do have them stand alone for a few life insurance products. Most of our life insurance applications are going to be offered through iPipeline. You do have to register for Luma on our website. iPipeline is an automatic registration when you register for the IAMS Inc. website. And Sunfire is going to be where we get all of our Medicare applications. Our creative services is the best in the industry. We have the best team that is working on that, and those are going to be your marketing design, whether it's logo, letterhead, web design, really only limited by imagination what our creative services can do for you and your business. The best thing about them is that we're not recreating the wheel or reinventing the wheel. They are all very aware of the financial services marketing field. We're not having to do a lot of back education about what's acceptable, what does language mean with annuities or life insurance, to speed up that learning curve. They're very aware of all of that. So do take advantage of our creative services. Those marketing dollars are actually designed so that you can take advantage of our creative services. One thing that the marketers, the directors work in conjunction with our creative services is doing complementary marketing analysis. We can work with any agent on that, and that's going to be from an agent that's never done any kind of thought or any kind of marketing at all in their business, ground zero, up to someone that's very experienced with designing a marketing plan and what they do every year. Together, you would work with either your life or annuity director and talk about where you're at, where you want to go, what do you want your business to look like. And then we work with our creative team to design that marketing analysis completely catered to you, which is a big difference because a lot of companies come up with cookie cutter marketing things that are going to maybe work, maybe not, but this is tailored to you. So that we can come up with a game plan on how to make you a success in the industry. So if you haven't done that before, please reach out to your annuity and life sales director so we can work on that complementary marketing analysis with you. We complete the package at IAMS. Not only do we do life, annuities, long-term care, disability, but wealth management is also a piece of that pie. Wealth management is an excellent way to increase and steady out your revenue. They do pay fees on a monthly basis, so it's an excellent piece to add to your business. Everyone knows anytime you add a line of business to your practice, you're improving retention with your clients. So if you're primarily a life insurance person, if we're not trying to add in life, long-term care, disability, and annuities, all lines that can help promote retention. Same with annuities, branching out into life opportunities, long-term care, disability, improving retention. And then the wealth management piece just rounds it out altogether. They can work with agents from the very beginning that have no wealth management experience, all the way up to agents that have a lot of wealth management experience. Everyone has a fit there with IAMS. And again, it does strengthen relationships. So know that you have access to that, and we would be happy to connect you with our friends at IAMS Wealth Management. Every year we plan out life and annuity academies. We generally do 4 to 6 of those a year. We've wrapped those up for 2024. We're coming up with our dates for 2025. This is an excellent opportunity for agents. It's a 2.5-day training, usually held at our home office, sometimes in different locations, sponsored by the top carriers in the industry to give you the best sales ideas and advantages in the industry at this time, not to mention rubbing elbows with agents all over the country to get different ideas and perspective of what is working in their business. You're going to talk to our top leaders, meaning our agents that are our top producers, to get their sales expertise. We're going to talk about advanced strategies, not only as a sales, prospecting and those type of thing, but about building your business, branding your business, etc. So speak with your life and annuity directors. Let them know that you really want to be at one of those academies and what's necessary for the invite. Our trek to Quebec is our trip this year. It's we actually do an 18-month qualifier that started in January of 2024. Plenty of time to still qualify for this trip as it wraps up in June of 2025. It is based on a point system, which is going to be a combination of all of your production. So another great reason to be multi-line with your production with IAMS, whether it's wealth management, annuity, life, disability, long-term care, final expense, any of those things. Work with your life and annuity directors, and we can help break down the goals month per month to make sure that you are there for the trek to Quebec, not to mention making sure if you're a new producer, hitting those producer bonuses, getting your marketing dollars, and all of those great things. Please follow us and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Again, so excited to have Joanna with us. Americo has been a wonderful partner with IAMS. Americo is one of my favorite life insurance companies. I will say it a million times. They have the old school feeling of how life insurance companies used to be, with a very family-based, oriented, helpful to the agents, the marketers, but most importantly, the clients that have policies with Americo. I'm excited to hear what Joanna is going to share with us today, because I think it's going to be a big deal in the final expense possibilities that are out there. So with that, I will turn it over to Joanna.
Thank you. So, you guys, some of you may have been in here with us the other day when we were having the technical difficulties. So I'm going over our Eagle Select Final Expense product. This is going to get released November 6th, you guys. November 6th, we are launching our new Eagle Select Final Expense product, and the Eagle Premier will no longer be on agent tools. So this is, first, really quickly, I want to talk about you first. November 30th is the end of the qualifying period for You First bonus. Once you earn 50,000 You First credits, you will get a bonus check for at least, it starts at $5,000. So the more over 50,000 you do, the more you're going to earn. There are some qualifying requirements or metrics as well that, of course, we want you to pay attention to. So, we want you to have a 6-month persistency of 82% or better, a 12-month persistency of 70% or better, and a premium applied ratio of 70% or better in order to qualify. So, I apologize again for those of you that are on here and were on here earlier. The first part of this, it'll be a repeat, but we'll get into those slides that we didn't get to before. So why a new product, right? We listen to our agents. We love feedback, good and bad, and we pay attention to the market. So the reality is that inflation is crazy. The cost of everything is more and more expensive. As a provider, we want to be able to cover the most individuals at the most competitive price. So we also, though, listen to the feedback from all of our agents. And one of the things we heard a lot from agents was that they want the actual accidental death benefit to be an option rather than just being built in. So that's something that we're updating as well. But then we're still keeping our what we're known for. So this, we've been in simplified issue for about 20 years. We started doing instant approval in 2016, and every year we look to make it better. We're still going to have that quit smoking advantage, and we're still doing the identity and bank account checks up front in the policy because it saves you time on the back end as an agent. So our select key features, okay? Whereas right now, the Eagle Premier is the Eagle Premier, or they get declined and you have to go to the Eagle Guaranteed Issue. Now it's just going to be Eagle Select. You're going to have 3 benefit levels, okay? So Select 1 is going to be the lowest premium. Select 2 is going to be the most comparable price line to what our Eagle Premier premiums are currently. And Select 3,
001.
what's the
Marketing Part 1001.
Select 3 is going to be a 2-year graded death benefit instead of like our guaranteed issue currently has a 3-year graded death benefit. So currently it's going to be 2, and it's going to have a significantly lower premium than the current guaranteed issue. I have a slide later on here that I can show you, and it's going to give you a price comparison. Our accidental death will now be optional. We have more streamlined underwriting. We're taking a broader dive into medical, okay? And we're lowering premiums. And what this doesn't list out is we're cutting the amount of time it takes to do these policies significantly. And that comes with the streamlined underwriting, you guys. So currently our Eagle Premier has 23 health questions that in combination with the MIB and the Milliman report is you have to ask all of them. You have to read the policy word for word. And honestly, like a lot of clients, I know when I've been on the phone with some of them, they get annoyed because they feel like they're pretty repetitive. We've done away with that. Still doing the MIB, still doing the Milliman, but now the questions are more streamlined. And I'm going to show you a slide later on as well that shows, like in the beginning of the application, we have a list of conditions that if they don't have any of them, you can mark none and you move on and you're practically done with the application. If they only have diabetes, you would click the diabetes box and then there's only going to be a couple more questions. So again, you don't have to ask all 23 of those boring, repetitive questions. So that saves you time. That helps your production. Now, we're maintaining our quality, right? Our process is what we're known for, and this is everything to us. So we're going to continue with the instant underwriting decision. Your policy number is still going to be provided almost immediately in the application. Your policy is still delivered instantly if you do e-delivery for the policy. There's no amendments and no paperwork unless you call in and make a change to like lower or increase a face amount after we've already issued the policy. That would create an amendment. But again, we have a verbal amendment line. You can write a policy today and get paid tomorrow. Commissions are paid daily. And the new Eagle Select products will count towards your You First cash bonus. Now, one thing I do want to do while I'm on this screen, and I talked about it the other day, so I just want to make sure everybody hears it. With that instant policy delivery, okay, write down these states, you guys. Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Louisiana, West Virginia, South Dakota, and Missouri only if the insured is a college student. If they're not a college student, Missouri will not require a delivery receipt. So Pennsylvania, Louisiana, West Virginia, South Dakota, New Hampshire, and only college students in Missouri. I don't know why we have that crazy rule in Missouri. If you have a client that you are writing a policy for in any of those states, I would go ahead and do e-delivery for the policy, because then at the end of the conversation, when you are doing your wrap up for your sale, like just an example, I always do, I thank them for letting me help them. And, you know, I re-go over, I give them my name and number. I go over, I give them their policy number just in case they need it before their policy shows up. I remind them what the product is, how much the coverage is for, and what their monthly premium is, as well as what their draft date is. Then always ask for a referral, right? Don't be afraid of it. Just, you know, it becomes second nature. Just, you know what, I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and I've really enjoyed helping you. And if you have anyone that you feel like would benefit from talking to me, please share my name and number with them. I'm happy to help, right? Always ask for a referral. Word of mouth is everything. But then that's your opportunity when you do e-delivery in those states, because those are the states that require a delivery receipt. You can then say, okay, now go ahead and get into your email and open up the email from Americo. If they don't see it, that's your opportunity to be like, check your spam box. Sometimes personal emails don't recognize a corporate email address. Make sure they open the email, they click on the link and open the policy and accept it. That's your opportunity to walk them through that, because then on our end, in our system, we can see that they've opened it and accepted the policy, and that will count as meeting that requirement of the delivery receipt. Otherwise, what happens is it shows up in their policy packet. It's usually somewhere in the first 9 pages, and they have to sign it and date it. And then as an agent, of course, you're going to have them send it to you so that you can make sure it's done. And then you submit it to us and we process it, and it just takes forever. If you just are already on the phone with them, because of course we know once you hang up with a client, you may never get them on the phone again. You're already on the phone. It becomes part of your procedure. Have them open up that email and accept it. But then you know that delivery receipt requirement is completed. So just a suggestion. Then, keep going here. So what the 3 select options look like, okay? Eagle Select 1 is full death benefit day 1, ages 40, issue ages 40 to 85, but these are whole life policies, okay? The nice thing that we're improving from the Eagle Premier is that the Select 1, a smoker can go up to age 85, whereas it was 80. Your face amounts remain the same, so it's 5 to 40,000. Still instant decision, still non-medical, and you still have the quit smoking advantage available. Now, Eagle Select 2 is the one that is most similar price-wise to the Eagle Premier currently, okay? They still have full death benefit day one. Age is 40 to 85, but smokers issue age actually becomes 75. Face amounts, still 5 to 40,000, still instant decision, non-medical, and quit smoking advantages available. Now, Select 1 and 2 are also the options where the accidental death benefit is going to be an option to add on, okay? Select 3 is now our graded death benefit option. So whereas the guaranteed issue currently is a 3-year graded death benefit, and their percentage of interest that they earn if they were to pass away before that graded period is over. So currently on the guaranteed issue, if they pass in year 1, they get a return of premium and 5% interest. Currently in year 2, if they pass away, they would get a return of premium and 10% interest. Currently in year 3, they would get, it's no longer return of premium, it is 75% of the face amount. And then year 4 and beyond, they would get the full face amount, right? Well, here's where it differs. Now it's a 2-year graded death period. The issue ages are 40 to 75, which is great because currently those GIs don't start till 50. So we're now able with the Select 3 to start approving at 40. Your face amount is 5, and we've increased it to 25,000. So it's no longer 15,000. Still instant decision, non-medical, but tobacco use is not a concern on the Select 3. So there's no quit smoking advantage on that. And the accidental death benefit is not an option to add on, okay? So keep in mind the Select 3 is not available in California or Washington. You can refer to product availability guides. Those are always going to be in your agent portal. I know they are not up yet because we have not launched the product, but they will be. It will be in your product, okay? So the way the new Select 3 during that graded death benefit is going to work is that if they pass away anywhere in the first 2 years, then we will give them ROP, so return of premium, plus an interest rate equal to the number of months since the policy was issued. So if they had their policy for 18 months and they pass away, we will pay return of premium and 18% interest of the premiums paid, you guys, not of the face amount, okay? Clients always ask me that. Years 3 and beyond, 100% of face amount. So love that. And here's the really nice thing, you guys. So for Select 1, upwards of 50% of clients that currently would have been approved for Eagle Premier, they're going to end up getting approved for Select 1 for that lower premium. Clients love that, and they're going to love you for that. Upwards of 40% of clients who currently would be declined from the Eagle Premier and you would have to go to a guaranteed issue, upwards of 40% of those clients are now going to get approved for Select 3. And again, it's because we've streamlined this underwriting, but we're taking a broader dive on the back end into things. So things that used to get them declined are not going to get them declined anymore. Not everything. People are still going to get declined. If you're not healthy, you're not, there are still going to be declines to this, okay? But what I'm saying is upwards of 40% of people who would have been declined and you would have had to go to a GI, which we all know our GI was very expensive, they're now going to be approved for a Select 3, which you're about to see is significantly less expensive than our current GI. So here's our price sheet. We are looking at Select 1 pricing, okay, in comparison to our current Eagle Premier. Here, if you look at a male, non-tobacco $10,000 policy, that top issue age is 62. Our current Eagle Premier, a 62-year-old non-smoking male for a $10,000 policy would be paying $57.48. They're now going to pay $48. It's almost $10 a month difference, you guys. That's huge. Then select 2, which is more similar to our Eagle Premier. This is, they would be $60. So it's only a tiny bit more expensive. But here's the big thing. For those whose health is not adequate enough to qualify for select 1 or 2, and they end up getting it, but they're not a decline, they would go to select 3, and look at that price difference, you guys. That's huge. Huge. So I'm very excited about this. Now, this is what your illustration is going to look like, okay? I want to explain, when you get into Agent Tools, when this goes live in the system on the 6th, you go in just like you do now to Agent Tools. You will put their state and their age in, tobacco user or not, and then the actual quoting page inside of Agent Tools is only going to show you select 1 pricing, okay? When you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can click Run Report and View Illustration, and that's where you're going to be able to see your select 1, 2, and 3 pricing, okay? This is also your cash value, and on page 2 of the report is where you'll see the cash values for select 3 if you guys ever talk about those with your clients. But here's where you can see all 3 quoting options. So remember that, because I know as an agent, when I talk to clients, when I was a broker and I had several companies, I had companies who did sort of approve as you were going through the application what they were willing to approve based on your health, right? So you kind of, once you become a tenured agent and you really, I feel like, get familiar with your products and your companies as well, you know, we all kind of know where to go. And sometimes, though, you're kind of like, iffy. It's up to you how you want to pitch the product. Obviously, you're the broker, you're the agent, you have your way. But there were times that, and it's okay to do this, but there were times that I would quote the select 2 pricing, and then if they end up getting approved for select 1, then guess what? You're the hero and it's great. And then word of mouth is going to be even better when you ask for a referral. Because you can be like, shout out to your health, Miss Jones. Like, we got you approved for cheaper pricing. They're willing to give you that coverage for $35.94 instead of $45.77. Like, great, take that, take that win. But of course, you decide how you want to pitch the product. But I just want you to know where you're able to see all the pricing. And I do want you guys to understand, you as the agent do not pick what product they're approved for. Enter their information and let the system do its thing. Pitch us first, run the information through first. It's gonna tell you. Our quit smoking advantage is something that we are not getting rid of. This is applicable to select 1 and 2 only. And it's still going to remain the same. So we know statistically that when a client stops smoking for 12 months or more, they are less likely to restart. So even in the application, the question is, have they used tobacco in the last 12 months? So if you're talking to a client and you're like, have you used any tobacco in the last 12 months? And they're like, oh, I quit in April. Okay, well, that's only 6 months ago. So you do have to mark yes, but they're getting the non-tobacco rate for the first 3 years to give them a chance to quit smoking for 12 solid months. Once they have quit smoking for 12 solid months, they just call in or email customer.service@americo.com, or they call into policyholder services. And here's the thing, the way the testing goes, I mean, post-COVID, we now realize like how sort of flexible we can all be. So the way that we test to support that, it could change. So I don't even want to give advice on that. I don't want to give specific advice on that. Have them reach out to policyholder services, and they will either set it up for them. They might send someone to the house. They may have them go to a testing facility. At one point it was urine. At one point it was saliva, but we set it up. We'll do whatever we need to do. will get it taken care of once they've quit for 12 consecutive months. Now, if they do not quit or they do not communicate that they've quit, that's when now we've got a couple of different options, okay? So this is looking at pricing for a 65-year-old smoker, male, $10,000 death benefit, and this is if they were on a select one, okay? So their premium would be $54.15 a month for $10,000. They would get that for the first 3 years, regardless. Even if they tell you, like, I'm never gonna quit, we're still gonna give them the non-tobacco rate for the first 3 years, okay? Beginning of year 4, if they do not quit or they do not communicate that they have quit, they're gonna have two options. They can either keep their premium the same or they can keep their face amount the same. And we're gonna match the opposite to what the tobacco rate would be. So if premium is what's most important to them, then they can choose to lower the death benefit to $54.24 to match that. If the death benefit, if it's the $10,000 that they want, it's going to be $96.63 is what it would raise to. Now, again, you're going to be able to see all of this in the application so that you can be very transparent and explain that. We do expect our agents to explain that to the clients and be very clear about it. Now, one of the coolest things about the Select is that if they choose the accidental death benefit at the time of writing the policy, the accidental death benefit is issued to match the face amount at the time of issue. So if they have a $10,000 policy and they choose to add the accidental, they will have $10,000 in accidental. If they do not quit smoking, or they do not let us know that they quit smoking, and they choose to keep the premium the same and lower their face amount, the accidental death benefit is going to remain $10,000 because that's what it was when the policy was issued, you guys. So that is an excellent selling point as well. And then here, again, like I was telling you, when you run that quote, you can see these options here. So that's all available for you. Now, the accidental death benefit, like I said, it is available only for Select 1 and 2. It is not available for Select 3. The cost is an additional premium, but it is not expensive. You'll be able to see it when you run the quotes in Agent Tool. There is no additional underwriting for accidental. Again, it's equal to the face amount of the policy at the time of issue, and it cannot be changed. If they decide to do the accidental death rider, that is where, and a lot of you that are familiar with our products, you know that we have a common carrier rider. If they add the accidental death rider, the common carrier rider will automatically be included. So I want to be very clear about what the common carrier rider is defined as, okay? So common carrier would be if they were a fare paying passenger on a common carrier that has a published schedule, okay? So if you're a bus driver and you drive a city bus and you have an accident, you are not a fare paying passenger. That is your job. So that is not covered. If you charter a yacht, that does not count because it doesn't have a published schedule, but a cruise ship does. So a bus, a plane, a train, or a ship where you are a fare-paying passenger with a published schedule. That is what a common carrier is defined as. The common carrier benefit is also matches the face amount of the policy at the time of issue. So if they had a $10,000 policy and they opt to elect the accidental death, the common carrier is going to automatically match. So you've got a $10,000 face amount, you've got a $10,000 accidental, and you've got a $10,000 common carrier. So when I'm pitching to clients, I always say, so that means if you pass due to an accidental common carrier, then your policy pays triple. That's how I word it to them. But if you do need to, break it down that way, the way I just kind of broke it down for you guys, you certainly can. Now, So child and grandchild riders, these are actually available, and I love this option because this is not just Select 1 and 2. They can add this to Select 3 as well. So still level term insurance on a insured child up to the age of 25. So on their 25th birthday, then that rider stops covering them because we consider them adults and they should carry their own policy at that point. But you can issue as long as they are 16 and under. Once they turn 17, they don't qualify. And the wording on our site is kind of confusing with that, so I just want to make that clear. The cost is $1 per child per month for $5,000, and you can do up to 10 children and grandchildren. So if you have, let's say you have a grandma and a grandpa, and they have 18 grandchildren, then grandma takes 10 and grandpa takes 8, and that's how you get them all covered, okay? Now, additional benefits that are automatically included. So on Select 1 and 2, you have an accelerated death benefit. If a doctor determines that an insured has 12 months or less before they pass away, then they can withdraw up to 50% of the death benefit. This is a nice option. They use it at their discretion. So travel, treatment, medication, whatever it may be. We cut a check direct to the client, not to a doctor. On the Select 3, the accidental death provision. So this is a provision, not a rider, okay? So if death occurs as a result of an accident during those first 2 years, while it's a graded period, we will still pay the full face amount. So that's nice too. So this is what I mentioned earlier. This is one of the beginning screens of the health, of the application. This list of items back here, I want you to understand, is not an automatic decline. These are not knockouts. So that's why we say, let the system run its course. Don't try to determine what select level the client will be. The system will tell you, okay? So on this one, like I said, if they don't have any of these and never had a history of these, you mark none of the above and you keep it moving, and you are going to be done with this policy in fast. I don't want to give you a time frame because if it does take you longer, I don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong, because you're not. But like, let's say that they just said they had diabetes, you would click that. You only have these 2 questions. You're not reading through all 23 of those awful repetitive questions. I love this. So one thing I do want to point out though, here, like on the diabetes, it says date of diagnosis. You guys, I get a lot of questions from agents when I'm doing these trainings that what if they don't remember, or the client is very vague, right? Because I don't remember, like someone is like, when did you start having thyroid problems? I'm like, I don't know, somewhere around 30, I don't know. So if they're like, 6 years ago, that's fine. Make the estimate. It is not going to hurt or help them to have the date accurate, because the MID and the Milliman report are going to pull that stuff for us. So as long as you're making an estimate somewhat close, like that's good. Now, there will be an underwriting tip sheet available in Agent Portal once we release everything, okay? You can see this is where that build chart is going to be. So height and weight, still very generous. I mean, for example, 5'4" can be up to 247 pounds, still very generous. You have just a few little things. All you guys that are tenured agents, you already know. These are the basic things that are going to get somebody declined from any policy. Those are the knockout conditions. Anything else, I am telling you guys, don't try to guess or force a select option. The system is going to do it for you. Just put the information in. Our system is built to do this for you, and it is so fast, and you're going to find out so quickly in the process what your options are, okay? So what happens is, once that initial underwriting is complete, a screen that looks similar to this is going to pop up, okay? This is where you'll notice It does not say like, congratulations, you're approved, nor does it say, we're so sorry you're declined, okay? We don't want to create any negativity around like coverage options for our clients, because at this point, this is initial underwriting, guys. This still is not a final answer. Systems are still running in the background, but this is your option to realize, like this is your chance to realize with a client like, hey, as of right now, it looks like here's the what we might be getting approved for. Now, and these reasons for decision, it could be prescription check, it could be that we're changing to smokers, rates, whatever. It's going to explain all that on the page. And this is where really what I do, because in my discovery conversations with my clients, one of the things I touch on before I even give a quote is I always say, now, listen, we all live on a restricted budget, right? Cost of everything is so expensive. I want to be really respectful of your budget. So what monthly would you be comfortable paying for a premium? And then we can talk about coverage from there, because I want to be realistic and I want to respect your budget. And you'll kind of know, like, is the base amount, is it really important to the clients that they get the $10,000, or is what they're paying a month really important? So then you're able to have this discussion of, okay, well, based on, right now, based on what we're seeing medically, it looks like here's what we might be able to offer for that premium or for that face amount, okay? You will know before you get to the final signature, because you know how we do like the text and email signatures, and you have to read that disclosure and they have to give you the 6-digit code. Before you do the final one, you will know what our final offer is, okay? Because we can't have them provide that text code and then we change something afterwards, because that final signature is accepting and agreeing to the offer. So at this point, though, the great thing is, if you wanted to go back and they're like, okay, you know what, 44 for 10,000, that's not too bad. What's 50 a month actually going to get me? Or you know what would 15 a month be? You can still go back to the beginning page and change that face amount and then come back to this and continue on. So I love that, because as you guys know now, if you basically get through the whole questions and everything and the client's like, oh, I want to change the face amount, it's already grayed out in the application. So this is just another really good improvement that we've been able to make. So this is not on the demo site yet, you guys. It's gonna be, so that you can see it. I wish I could get it up for you guys now so you could tinker around inside of it, but I keep still putting finishing touches on this. What I want to touch on here is agent tools is still going to be the exact same. You're just going to see it change from Eagle Premier to Eagle Select, okay? Still the exact same way to run a quote and start an application. I want to point out, like I always do, in that picture in the background to the left of your screen, see that red banner? That automatically indicates that you are in the demo site. We like to say everybody gets approved and no one gets commission when you submit a policy through the demo site. So the demo site is where I would suggest going in and writing a policy on yourself so that you get the text message and the email. And when you are live with a client in the live agent tool system and they're like, I can't find the code. We all have that client that does that. You're able to remember what that looks like because you've seen it yourself and you can walk them through how to find that. But keep in mind, that's the demo site. So the MIB and the Milliman aren't actually running, even though it is set to simulate a live application. So you get that little green box that drops down and says initial underwriting is approved, continue with whatever. It's not, we're not actually running it in the demo site. However, if you accidentally submit a policy in the demo site, you guys, we cannot transfer the information over to the live tool. So if you realize you accidentally did that, you do have to rewrite it in the live tool system. And if you are in the live tool system, do not, and I repeat, do not ever put your own phone number or email in for those text or email signature options. That is considered signing for the client. It is fraud. It is not compliant. Compliance will catch it, and it will be a problem. So don't ever put your own phone number and email in for those signatures when you're with a client. It has to be theirs. Again, you still have those two options, the text and the email. Like I said, I would definitely suggest doing a demo on yourself so that they get sent to you so you can see it, so you can walk your clients through when you are live and doing this. We still have our, it's new, but we have a customer portal available. The Eagle Select will be linked to that as well. They can go to Americo.com, create a customer portal, and in the portal is fantastic because if they misplace their policy, they can view it there electronically and print it out if they want. If they need to update banking information, they can do it through the portal. If they need to update beneficiary information, they can do it. The portal is fantastic. It's a great tool. Now, like I said earlier, no amendments unless you call in and you increase the face amount after the policy is already issued. So to remain instant everything like we do, we have a verbal amendment line and a verbal banking authorization line. So if a client needs to update their banking information, they can do that too. So what you would do is, but you don't have to be on the phone with them, you guys, but as an agent, I always had them on the phone already, and then I called in on a three-way call just so I could make sure it was done and it was done correctly. You guys will just have them on the phone, call into this number, so the 855-248-8327. This is going to put you guys through to a live person. They record the conversation, and that's why the client has to be on the phone, because it has to be the client's voice giving this information. There's some disclosures that they have to read, and option 2 is verbal amendments. Option 3 is the banking authorization line. So this is different from our 800 number that you call in to get to agent services. So 855-248-8327. Option 2 is verbal amendments. Option 3 is banking. And then again, it's instant. It's done. You don't have to worry about it. As always, if you guys have questions, you can always call our 800 number. But if it's something that you do not need an immediate answer to, you guys, I would definitely send an email. So you don't have to wait on hold. So if you're just checking the status of a policy, if you're asking about your commissions, if you're following up on something with licensing, send an email to agent.services@americo.com. Put a policy number in the subject line and make sure in the body of the email that you put your agent ID and your full name. Does anybody have any questions? Well, if not, I want to thank you for having me on here again. Again, my name is Joanna Mosley. I'm one of the assistant account executives. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to email agent.services. They are well versed in this product. If I'm just not hearing or seeing questions, the other thing too is reach out to Beth. She can email me, or you guys can email me, and I am happy to help in any way I can. And thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know we've been on here for quite a while, so I really appreciate it. I love coming on here and talking to you guys. Have a great day.